Hi everyone, it's Fitting Dragon. This 1 week I've been inking 9 pens, so I would like to bring you all to what I have currently inked this week. Let's get to it. Alright, this might be my most fun combination this time, and this is my first time trying this. So I put a Berlin Notebook number 3 green ink inside an Opus 88 Omar that I got kindly from my Fountain Pen Club member who spotted this on the Karma table on Dutch Pen Show last month, and I fill it with pilot parallel nib. So I find this quite funny in a way that the pen is free and yet I bought pilot parallel pens, 3 of them even, to be put inside this pen. But I did have fun, and because of this I tried writing in Gothic fonts as well, and I gotta say that I don't have patience for it at all. But it's fancy and it's fun to write in friends letters and maybe even later headers on my journal, so I'm enjoying the process. Alright, let's write this. Oh, that will not be funny if this pen is actually dry already. Spec paper, let's check. Oh, here we go. And today is the 20. And this one is the Berlin Notebook number 3. I feel like I will be putting a huge writing here and I might not have the enough space for the rest of my ink because I have 9 pens. Let's see. Opus 88, and this one is with, oh, and we can write with the sides on the pilot parallel nib, and that's very convenient. Although I found that this one with the 3.0 nib have a better sides writing compared to the one from 2.4, which I will show you next. So yeah, I had so much fun with this combination, and now I understand the hype among the fountain pen users about this pilot parallel knit because they're just so fun. And I'm glad that I got to try it and had fun with it. So this Berlin Notebook number 3 is a green with a very strong reddish purplish sheen. It's still drying right now, but I think you can already see a little bit of how it looks in there. And as for color comparison, I think the green on the Berlin Notebook is more leaning on the colder green, while I have here Ostrich Green Emerald is more on the emerald color or the yellowish greenish, and Diamine Inkfan Black Ivy is greener, and the color of the sheen is different. For the Berlin Notebook number 3, it's more purplish, while Black Ivy is more red. Also the same with Green Emerald is more red. The second one is also pilot parallel, although I don't have the another Opus 88 pens free that I can put this in, so I'm using the original body. I fill it with Pennonia Napkelte, which means sunrise. I will say that this combination is both fun and I feel like I'm trolling myself because I cannot read what I am writing. You will see in a minute. Although it's not like pure yellow, so there are some orange on it which makes this ink legible. but it is still too light for everyday writing. So far I've been using this combination for the sides or decoration on my letters, and probably if I really need it, although I don't have use of it yet, I could use this ink for highlighting, although that would be a very fun idea and I would like to try that if I could. It's just so fun. And this ink is a fluorescent ink, so I believe that if you put a UV light on it, it will change to another color. Although I'm too lazy to grab one, but actually let me grab it. So I have my UV light here and we will see. Tim tim tim. Oh, look at that. Oh gosh, that's so fun. Okay, that's Pennonia Napkelte with UV light. If you feel like getting back to being a child again and playing around with UV light and ink, this is the ink that you might want to try. Another with UV light ink that I tried from Pennonia is the Carpet Salt. It was a bright green and it was so nice as well. As for color comparison, the closest that I have in my collection is the Ackerman Hill Erguvan France, although this one is much more legible compared to Napkelte, which are more for fun. The next pen and ink combination that I have here is my favorite pen. It's a Pilot Iroshizuku Fuyu-gaki ink, and I put it inside my Opus 88 pumpkin, and inside this pen is my CY Cursive Smooth Italic, which I had done on Dutch pen show. When I put this ink inside this Cursive Smooth Italic nib, I feel a difference compared to my first inking, which was with Pennonia Cake. This Fuyu-gaki is way wetter, and thus I really feels the nib glides on the paper, and also it feels wet on writing. Thus I noticed that on my writing in general, it is less stubby and less italic compared to my previous writing. So that is quite an interesting observation, that if the ink is wetter, then this nib behaves differently, and I still love it so much. It's so fun. My writing with this nib always makes it looks very fancy. Fuyu-gaki means winter persimmon, and I find that this ink is quite special of its own, even though it's looking like a normal orange. So I can see here that Fuyu-gaki is more on the orange, leaning to the colder side of orange. Let's say that all of other oranges that I have tried before are usually more yellow leaning oranges. So this Fuyu-gaki is quite special of its own for me, and I enjoy writing with it. It feels calming, and I think I might be interested in getting a bottle of this ink, just because I love the feeling that goes together with this color. As mentioned before, Fuyu-gaki is more cold leaning orange, while my other oranges are more on the yellowish leaning orange. So it's a lovely orange. The next pen and ink combination is the Pelikan Edelstein Jade ink, and I fill it inside my new pen from AbleSnail, an ebonite pen with the name Sketch Pen. The nib inside it is my new grind as well from CY. It's the Architect nib, although the nib has an Esterbrook logo because I don't have any other free nib at that moment. Just like with my previous filling with this pen is very comfortable, and I love the smell of ebonite. Plus the Architect is just right. I love writing with this combination. And furthermore, the Pelikan Edelstein Jade is a green leaning turquoise. No, it's a green. And I've been inking similar colors of this color lately, but I feel like Pelikan Edelstein Jade really wins my heart. because, well, this is the shade of green that I really enjoy writing with, which I couldn't find in the previous inking, which was the Robert Oster Waterworld or Lamy Tourmaline. It's a happy green, and writing with it makes me happy. And that's enough description for Pelikan Edelstein Jade. So it is really close to Waterworld and Gold Green, although Jade is more green compared to the other two. Okay, next up is my Pennonia ink, the Balaton-kek. And I fill it inside my Studyo Agackakan WP2 model with primary manipulation 1 blank. And the nib inside it is my Franklin Christoph Sig medium nib. This ink really reminds me of cotton candy, and writing with this ink and pen combination with the nib makes me really happy. This is what I expected from my filling with the pale blue from last time, the first Wilbur Blue Peril Tonic. And unlike my previous experience with that ink, my experience with this ink is marvelous because it stays with this color throughout my writing. It is surprisingly legible, and on some paper there are also like a slight chroma shading, which is a mixture of light blue and light purple, and those are my favorite colors. But I'm just surprised that it is very legible because what I see on swatches on the internet, Balaton-kek is quite light. So I can recommend this ink. It does help as well that the Franklin Christoph Medium Signip really brings out the best from this ink. In writing, Pennonia Balaton-kek is very similar to Ferris Wheel Press Blue Beryl Tonic, so it is a very good substitute if you cannot find this one, and it is more blue compared to Sailor Menu Fuji. The next pen and ink combination that I have here is Rohrer and Klingner limited edition 2024 Blue Eyed Mary, and I fill it inside my Pilot Custom Heritage 91 medium 14 karat gold nib. This ink is a limited edition from last year, although for me personally it looks very normal. So I can understand how many people were quite disappointed with this ink, especially if they compare to the limited edition from the previous year, which was the Ebony, and that one was an iron gold darkish brownish gray, which was amazing. But this Blue-Eyed Mary, it is an ink named with the flower with the same name, but even the colors of the flower that I see on the internet is quite different from this blue, so that is quite a dissonance on that part. And also I feel like lots of ink maker already have this shade of blue in their collection yet, which makes this ink not really that special, which is a pity. Although upon further investigation on my own ink swatches, I don't really have anything similar to this. So it's just the familiarity of how it looks and how normal it looks, which makes it a bit meh in my opinion. So yeah, I think Blue-Eyed Mary is more blue compared to Herbin Blue Kanku Marine, Diamond Marine, and Diamond Bliss. And it is more green compared to the cards that I have here on the right side. This is quite the unexpected pairing that I love. I have Rohrer Klingner Verdigris, another Rohrer Klingner ink, inside my Pilot Custom 823 with medium 14 karat gold nib as well. I have two Rohrer Klingner ink inside my two Pilot pens with 14 karat medium gold nib. I've been very curious of this ink for the longest time because it received such a positive review from lots of people who use it. And Rohrer Klingner bottles are affordable in where I live, but it's just I haven't bought it yet because, well, it's a 50 milliliter bottle and I don't have a use of inks that much. And that's why I've been putting off in trying this ink. But finally, last Dutch pen show, someone from my pen club member kindly gave me a sample of this Verdigris. I gotta say, it did not disappoint. The combination between the Pilot Custom 823 and this ink is just so great. I think it is one of the wetter ink as well, so it feels very nice on the nib. Although color wise it is quite normal because it's just like a blue black, but I found that Verdigris is much more leaning on a teal black rather than a blue black, so that's a nice distinction between the other inks as well. The teal black and the brown body of Pilot Custom 823 is just so great. Or maybe that's the thing with brown pen, you can just put any ink in it and they will just look great. As for color comparison, I think Rohrer Klingner Verdigris is the closest with Lamy Cliff, although Verdigris is much more teal. With Bungo Box, it's quite similar, although Bungo Box have way too much sheen, while the sheen on Verdigris is very minimal. Second to last, I have Studyo Agackakan ink Erguvan Bogazi, and I fill it inside my Majohn V60 with fine nib. So I got this bottle of ink from Studyo Agackakan table on Dutch Pen Show last month. The ink is inspired by the Joshua tree, which are the very beautiful flower tree which are pink and they are famous to be around Turkey area. I find this pink beautiful, and because this is a Studyo Agackakan ink, I was planning to put it inside my Studyo Agackakan pen, but I also wanted to ink this Majohn V60. This bottle of ink is the one that I have available easily on hand, so I just cannot wait for it and just ink this pen and this ink together. And I feel like this is a very good combination. So Majohn V60 is one of my newest pen as well. It was given to me by one of my pen friend. Even though it has a triangular grip, and thus at first I was thinking that it might not be as comfortable for me, but surprisingly it is very comfortable. The nib itself have a little bit of soft spot to it, so I really need to grab the pen in a very specific angle in order for it to write very great. But with all that considered, this pen is still so nice, and whenever I write with it, I cannot put it down. I think the only disadvantage for me with this pen is just that it is a piston filler, thus I don't really know how many inks I put inside the pen. If you know me, I don't fulfill any of my pens at all, and thus it was quite hard for me to gauge how many inks are inside this pen and how much should I turn the knob in order to get the amount of ink that I want inside this pen. If I can describe this ink, it is the ink that is just right in the middle of Suzuki and Yamabudo. Jingleberry, Sugar Rush, and Solferino are quite similar, although Studyo Agackakan Erguvan Bogazi is way pinker compared to the other three. We are finally on the last pen and ink combination that I have for today. I have a Jacques Herbin 1670 anniversary Ris Orange or Stormy Gray in English. It is a blackish grayish ink with yellow shimmer, and I fill it inside my Jinhao 80 with Lamy Kanji nib. I'm usually not the type to ink black and gray inks. Like I even only have 4 gray and black inks in my ink bottle collections. And thus it was quite interesting to try this ink sample which I got from my Secret Santa from last December. This ink looks like warm gray when it is wet, and then it turns to a colder gray when it's dry. It flows very well out of this pen and it never clogs ever, So that is nice. And this is a little tip that Jinhao 82 and Jinhao 80 for me are very good at handling shimmer inks. So I can recommend putting your shimmers in these two pens. But back to this combination, it's just so lovely. Even though this gray is my most boring combination on my currently ink, I find that I keep reaching out to the pen quite often and just write with this ink. Maybe sometimes it's just nice to have something neutral in color in my currently ink, and then that way I can enjoy both the loud and bright inks because there are some neutral ones that balance it out. Base color wise, Stormy Gray is the closest with Sailor Shikiri Chusu, although it is more warmer compared to Chusu, which is more on the colder gray. It looks blacker compared to Ron Klingner Ebony, which are more leaning on a darker brown. And well, I cannot find any similarities between Earth Gray and Stormy Gray because this one looks a bit more purplish than this. So yeah, these are all the pens that I have inked right now, and I think this is the most that I have ever inked all at once. So what do you think? Have you tried the Pilot Parallel Nib yourselves as well? Any of these that you want to try on your own? I cannot hold these pens anymore in my hands, so I will say goodbye to you and see you on the next one. Bye bye!